flow and restore yoga class, a combination of vinyasa flow and restorative yoga. Just to set your expectations at the beginning, the emphasis of the class is on restorative yoga. We'll warm the body up and then move through some vinyasa flows, really just to give you a chance to lift your energy and shake off the excess. To let go of any tension, to draw it to the surface and spit it out, so that hopefully you can access a little bit more capacity to let go, to release, to surrender into these beautiful, relaxing, restorative poses. With restorative yoga, you need lots of props or a substitute. So if you have a bolster like you find at a studio, yay. If you don't, you will adapt and modify. An extra rolled yoga mat is a great idea. These rollers, these firm rollers, and the longer the better, but you can work with it. Bed pillows have several, especially if they're flat like this and you want the firmest pillows that you can find at your house. For today's practice, I want you to have several. So I've got 3 longer, bigger beach towels, a shorter towel. Really, I just wanted the length because we might be using it underneath our ankles. And then hand towels, which we can roll up and place underneath our neck. These are just options. If you don't have them, you will modify. I would like to use a strap today, but if you don't have a strap that has this buckle, it's the purpose of the strap is to hold our legs together so that we don't have to have any effort. You can modify that. Another option is the resistance band, which we can make work like a strap. Blocks are handy if you have them, yoga blocks. If you don't, see if you can find 2 full toilet paper rolls or perhaps the smaller box of Kleenex. Whatever you find will be good enough. Okay, let's begin. Take a comfortable seated position. I'm sitting on one blanket. You can sit on as many as you need to be able to find some ease in your hips and knees. Feel free to rock back and forth. Just to wake the sit bones up and to spread them apart, give you a broader base. You could even take your thighs and rotate the thigh back and apart. That helps to spread the sit bones and just give you that wider base. All right, let's take a few moments to center. When we center, we're giving ourselves a few moments to arrive. The invitation is to draw your attention inward. You can do that. You can help yourself by lowering your gaze or closing your eyes and just letting a few big, deep breaths sweep through your body, sweep through your mind. Doing that on your own, taking air in through the nose, really filling up the whole rib cage. Exaggerating it here at the beginning of practice, and then you're welcome to exhale through the nose or exhale through an open mouth, whatever works for you. Just giving yourself this time to slow your own momentum, to land on your mat, to bring your awareness inside your body. And then bring your hands to meet at your heart. Let your thumbs rest at your sternum. Take a moment and set an intention for this practice. And then take a big deep breath in. And an even bigger, longer, slower, deeper breath out. Release your hands to your thighs and then take them off to the side with palms facing forward. Let's wake up the body with a few sun breaths. On an inhale, your arms sweep out wide and up high. And lengthen through the spine and then turn your palms away and exhale lower. We'll do 3 of these and just take this pose to wherever your body's at. Inhale. You can deepen it by pulling shoulder blades together on your back, by pushing down through sit bones and lengthening up long, tall through your spine and maybe looking up. And exhale, you turn your palms away. Let your breath tell you when it's time to switch. Inhale, out and up. Really lift your gaze up this time. And then turn your palms away and exhale, slowly lower. Let's do the Qigong version of that. So soften everything, including your abdomen. Soften through your joints. Palms face down, spread your fingers out. Inhale, arms up halfway. Exhale, palms up. Inhale, arms up all the way. Exhale, index fingers and thumbs meet. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, bend deeply at the elbows, palms face down. As you finish that exhale, release hands towards hips. Let it go one more time. Soft, soft, wiggle, wiggle. Inhale, arms up halfway. Exhale, palms up. Inhale, arms up all the way. Exhale, index fingers and thumbs meet. Inhale, look up, lengthen. And exhale, rotate the palms down, bend deeply at the elbows as you slowly let it go. And release. And now let's do a seated cat-cow, taking the spine forward. Think about making the letter C with your whole spine and your head and neck. And then we'll open the arms out wide and think about a big back bend and a big chest opener. Just taking it as far as is comfortable for you today. So let's take a breath in and open. Arms out to shoulder height. Take them behind the plane of the spine. Lift your heart up and lift your chin up if that feels good. And then on the exhale, when you're ready, bring those arms around, wrap them around yourself, give yourself a hug and bow forward, chin to chest. Let go of all the breath in your body. Pause here. When your body wants an inhale, you begin to reverse. Put your arms in the position that serves you. Maybe that means up high. Maybe that means down low to support you on fingertips to help you. And when you're ready to exhale, put the other, alternate which arm is on top, curl forward, hug yourself, chin to chest, let go of all the air in your lungs. Exaggerate this. One more time. Inhale, arms to the location that serves you. Maybe it's up high, maybe it's spider tip fingers on the ground to really help your back bend. And when you're ready to exhale, alternate which arm is on top as you wrap your arms around your shoulders for a hug and curl the spine forward, chin to chest, making the letter C. And then begin to release and let go. Now press down through sit bones, pull the core toward the belly, towards the spine. Inhale, up nice and tall. Really reach up, lengthen. And then exhale, keep your arms straight and just feel this as with this pressing into the hand that's touching the ground and reaching out the opposite direction, keeping the arms straight and really trying to open up on this opposite side of your body. Inhale, arms up overhead. Invitation is to keep the arms long. The left hand touches the ground, presses into the ground, and you reach long diagonally and really trying to feel this as side body bend on this right side. And then inhale, arms up high. Let's soften through joints this time as the right elbow bends and the left elbow bends and the joints all soften. Same side bend, just different position. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, left arm down. Side bend. And inhale, arms up overhead, hands touch. Exhale to your heart and release. Now let's do a twist. Except it's not going to be the usual twist. I want you to place your arms out at a T and lift up, rise up out of your pelvis. Nice long spine, nice open heart. And then let's take the left hand and just bring it across the body and reach over towards that other hand. It doesn't matter how far you get, you're twisting. And then bring it back. And now let's twist the other way. Right hand reaches across the body and reaches toward the other, but may or may not get there. And release and let it go. One more time. Reach with the left hand toward the right hand and just feel where you get to on your own. And release and let it go. And then reach right hand toward the left hand. And release and let it go and float arms down. Let's come to standing and move through our vinyasas. Removing any props off of the mat. You can bring those blocks or the substitute for your lunges. but you don't need them. All right, standing in Tadasana. Let's connect the feet to the earth and inhale, arms up high. Rise up, reach up, look up, Urdhva Sthasana. Hinge at the hips, and as you exhale, bow forward into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, back down, and step the right foot back, straight leg lunge. Lower the hips, wake up these muscles, and then remove any props as you step back, downward facing dog. And warm up your body here. Tune into downward facing dog. You might kneel, you might bend knees deeply. You might take one heel down and bend the opposite knee. Just do what your body is calling for, is asking for to wake up in this pose. Pressing down through index fingers and thumbs to protect your wrist. Come into stillness. Lift your hips up. Press the weight of the hips back. You can keep a bend in the knees until your hamstrings warm up. On your next inhale, shift forward to plank and squeeze everything. And then you decide if knees touch the ground for half plank or if you go down in full plank. But exhale, lower. Press down through the bottom half of your body to inhale, lift up through the heart. Keep your elbows bent for baby cobra. Exhale, lower, toes tuck. Inhale to table. Exhale, lift up, downward facing dog, and stay here for several breaths. Feel free to change the position of your feet and then find stillness. And breathe. Slow your heart rate. On your next inhale, the right leg rises long behind you. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it forward, step it forward. Back and straight leg lunge, finishing the circle. And press off back foot to join front foot. As you lift up through your hips in Uttanasana, point the crown of your head down, draw your belly to your spine, and inhale, arms out wide and up high. Look up, hands touch. Exhale, pull it to your heart and release. Let's go again. Inhale, arms out and up, look up. Exhale, swan dive, arms out, and come into a full bow. All the way down, lift your hips up, point the crown of the head down, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Step the left foot back, straight leg lunge. Hips lower, hearts lift. One heart lifts. And then lower the back knee. And inhale, lift your torso up and look up to add a back bend. You can keep your gaze level. And then let's twist towards this front bent knee, open twist. Left arm forward, right arm back. Pull the belly to the spine, and then release your twist. Lift up and float arms down. Lift the back knee and step back, downward facing dog. And stay here for several breaths and breathe. Each time you come through here, add to this, deepen it. Pull your ribs towards your thighs. Push your shoulders away from the mat. Check in that your arms are framing your ears and slowly lowering your heels to the mat. And then inhale, shift forward into plank. And breathe, but hold all your muscles and draw the muscles to the center, really squeezing to help you hold this pose. Keep your breath moving. On your next exhale, release and lower down to the ground. Plant the lower half of your body and inhale, lift up and open that back. Full cobra. Exhale, lower, tuck your toes, and we press up to meet in downward facing dog. Use the breath. Use down dog as a rest pose. On an inhale, left leg rises long behind you. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it in, and step it forward. Straight leg lunge. Lower the hips, lift the heart. Lift your gaze. Lower the back knee, and inhale, rise up. Reach up, maybe you look up. You could keep your gaze level and give you a little bit more stability. And let's twist. Twisting towards, open twist towards the left. Pull the belly into the spine.
point the tailbone down. Try to keep your arms at the same height. And then release the twist, looking forward. Exhale, hands lower, frame the front foot, back knee lifts, press off back foot to join the front foot. And find yourself in Uttanasana and take an extra breath here. As you lift up through the hips and point the crown of the head down, draw your belly to the spine and reverse swan dive. Swan dive, arms out wide. Look up, Vadakanasana, hands touch. Exhale, hands to your heart. Release. And one last one. Inhale, arms out wide, up high. Exhale, bow. Take your time. Let your breath lead. Inhale, lift up. Ardha Uttanasana. Pull your belly to the spine. Pull your shoulder blades together and down your back. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg steps back. Straight leg lunge. Lower the hips. Wake these muscles up. And then let the fingertips touch as you spin the back foot and prepare to rise into warrior two. Rise up. Open the hips to the long edge of the mat. And windmill, arms open. See if you can sink a little deeper into your pose. Add the supports as you press down through feet. Pull that front knee out towards the pinky. And then draw, lift up. Inner thighs pull together. Lift up through pelvic floor. Lift up through the navel. Open across the front of the body. Rotate the front palm up. Lift up, look up. Revolved warrior. Exhale, back. Warrior two. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Right hand meets left hand. Hands float down. And you step back. Downward facing dog. Keep breathing here in downward facing dog. Turn off the volume. And find rest. Downward facing dog is the time for you to slow the heart rate down. And then inhale, shift forward to plank and squeeze everything. And on an exhale, you release down to the ground. Find your foundation and immediately inhale, lift up to your back bend. And exhale, lower. Tuck your toes. And we meet back and downward facing dog. Find a little rest here, at least 3 breath cycles. Try to deepen the pose by lifting your hips up and pressing the weight of your hips back. Press into index finger and thumb to protect your wrists. And breathing. On an inhale, right leg rises long behind you. And exhale, bend the knee, step it forward. Straight leg lunge. Find this pose as you rely on the strength of your legs, light fingertips. And then spin the back foot. Check in. This front heel should bisect the back foot or be in alignment with the back heel. Rely on the strength of your legs as you press up, open out, and look forward. Looking out over those front fingertips. Warrior two. Sink a little deeper. Front palm faces up. Revolve the warrior. Look up. Lengthen, especially through this right side body. And then exhale. Back to warrior two. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Hands meet. Exhale down. Press off back foot to join the front foot. Uttanasana. Lift the hips up. Point the crown of the head down. Take an extra breath cycle. Really take in the benefit of this inversion with your head below your heart. Now place hands on your hips with elbows pointing up. Use your core as you press down through feet and rise up. And sweep those arms out and up. Look up. Urdhva. Hands touch. Exhale them to your heart. And release. And then let's transition into to warm down as we move towards our restorative poses. Take a wide stance. If you're bisecting the mat, or sorry, if you're standing with your mat facing me, then let the mat bisect the feet with heels in, toes out. Otherwise, you can stand as wide as you want on your mat. Hands at your heart, take a breath in, and then bend the knees and exhale, sink. Keep active here. If this is easy for you and you're super flexible and you can sink way down low, I want you to lift up.
Lift up from pelvic floor to navel to sternum. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. Keep it all active and benefit from this pose. Keep breathing. Your elbows are pressing out, your knees are pressing in. And then hands touch the ground as right knee touches and left knee touches. All right. Let's do this little hip opener because this will be, this form of hip opening will be one of our restorative poses. So seated, a gentle Vadakanasana, a warm down Vadakanasana. So make your diamond a little bit bigger. Soles of the feet touch. You can touch your knees or shins or ankles because we will fold forward. Take a breath in, lift up through the heart. And then think about pushing your heart forward, not rounding the spine. Think of this as a gentle hip opening. It doesn't have to be your deepest, but push the heart forward rather than rounding in the spine, and you're helping these low back muscles and these inner groin muscles to lengthen. Breathing, and then rise up. And now let's do a supine version of that. Just to get us warmed up. You could have these blocks available if you're aware that the knees going out wide is a big hip opening. So on your back, bent knees, come onto the outer edge of your feet so that it allows the soles of the feet to touch. And then just see how it feels to have these knees out wide. If it's fine like this, then let your arms be at your side and palms face up. If it doesn't feel so nice, if that's too deep an opening, then support it. We're warming down. We're prepping for some restorative poses. So make this a nice, easy pose, an accessible pose rather than challenging you. And really tune into your breath and feel your weight supported on the ground. Sense the timing of your breath slowing down after that vinyasa. Sense the movement of blood, of breath, of energy moving in you from head to toe. And we'll transition out of this by letting your hands touch the outer thighs and help those knees point back up toward the ceiling. And with knees bent, roll to one side. And let's get the positioning for our first restorative pose. If you have a block, I'd like you to use it. If you have a strap, I'd like you to use it. For blankets, unfold one blanket long. I tend to fold these towels in thirds. So if you think of a towel, a beach towel, fold it in half, then fold it in half again, and then lay that vertically on your mat. You might want one, you might want two. You can always pause the video and add more to it. And these little hand towels are nice because they're just the right width. I fold it along in half lengthwise. And then you're just gonna roll it up and you're gonna check and see how many rolls do you need for your head and neck to be comfortable. I don't need these yet, so I'm gonna get them out of the way. So I have my head and neck. I can just put it to the side and add it last. If you are adding a blanket, I would like you to sit on the mat and just have the edge of this blanket supporting your low back. And then you lie down. This is supported constructed rest. So I don't know if you can see it, but my tailbone is on the mat and this blanket is just starting right around the curve of my low back. That's what I want. If you don't have a strap and blocks, then just take your feet wide and let the knees fall in toward one another and hands off to the side. If you do have a block, you're going to put the block and strap. You're going to put the block between your knees, and then you're going to add the strap, which has two buckles. And you take the strap through both buckles and then reweave it through the outer buckle to give it the capacity to tighten. And all this is doing is holding the weight of my legs. And it's the Goldilocks effect. It's not too loose that my legs fall apart and the block drops. It's not too tight that I cut off circulation. It's just right. So you adjust, these straps are adjustable. You can use the resistance band and you just tie the handles around one another when you get to the right tension. And then if you want to, you could bring those heels just a little closer to your sit bones. But I want you to experiment and see what feels right for you. And then let your arms go out wide, palms face up. And I want you to melt into the pose. You don't want a restorative pose to be too challenging to get into. But you want to take the time and the effort to adjust and readjust again until you find the sweet spot. It takes a bit for our bodies to let go. Constructive rest is a very healing pose. With each exhale, see if you can let your body feel a little bit heavier. Sink into the mat. Have a sense of being held. And one more breath in this pose. If you find any pose particularly delightful and you'd rather stay, then just pause the video. We are only doing 3 more restorative poses, so you can linger as long as you like. To come out of the pose, you're going to remove the block if you used it and just slide the strap down your legs and gently roll to one side and come out of the pose. The next pose we're going to do is supported crocodile, which you have options now. If you have the bolster, then lie the bolster vertically and lay your torso on top of it. I'm assuming most people don't have a bolster, so you can use pillows. You can keep that towel on the ground just as a little bit more. And again, if you have a block, you're going to have that underneath your forehead. This main part of your support is going to hold your torso. If you don't have the block, you could rest your head on the full toilet paper roll. So just placing the props where you estimate you need them. And then the first thing you'll do is lie the torso down and open up the hips and then place the forehead. So with your hands on either side of the main support, and think of this support as from your pubic bone up to your collarbones. Release the weight of your body down. Shift your weight onto one side and come onto the inside of your knee and the inside of one foot. And then do the same with the other leg. And just settle in a little. Lift up on your elbows, readjust. And then when you're ready, you're going to find the support that you need. It could be a block. It could be this roller. Really, you're just going to have to experiment. If that doesn't feel good, then you could put a towel on top. And you mix and you match until your body sinks into the pose. You want this neck long rather than dropping down very low or hanging. You could use fists. but you want the weight of the head to be supported. And the arms just drape around wherever they're comfortable. If you want to add to it, you could place your hands on the back of your head. Or the back upper shoulders. This is supported crocodile pose. Just stay here and breathe. Let your body be held. Let your weight release. Let your body be heavy. Hold restorative poses longer than we hold other poses to give our body that chance to downshift. And this is opening your hips and passive upper shoulder opening between the scapula, the rhomboid. And just finish one breath cycle here. Full deep breath in and out. To come out of the pose, you're going to realign the legs in alignment with the hips. So release that hip opening and then let your hands press your torso up. Moving slowly. Remove the block. You're going to come into supported Supta Vadakanasana, in which you will need a ramp. So go, you can leave this blanket down low, but we need some support. So you might be able to find a second yoga mat rolled up. That could be underneath, and then your blanket sit on top of that. If you do that, you really do want something to secure that mat from rolling, because we're going to lay our back on here. The other thing that you could do is just keep stacking up. You can have that block underneath, and you can just keep stacking up your blankets, which will add some girth. You're really trying to keep it long. So just let the excess hang over the top. I don't have a lot of excess room. But you're thinking your spine. So if you have that bolster, you can use that bolster. And if you don't, then you're trying to make a ramp. And you'll need one blanket. So at least save one of the blankets to wrap into a snake. This might be a thin snake. You just want something that can wrap around your ankles to hold to really support the calves as we open up, like we did in our earlier Vadakanasana. So once you get your base, your sacrum right flush up against your ramp, bring the soles of the feet to touch, lift those knees and wrap this around, and let this be a nice way to support the calves. You could also use anything else to hold the knees once you get into position. And then when you're ready, your hands guide you down. And if you need that extra neck support, so if it doesn't feel right, your ramp, the angle is not right, you might find that you can add this hand towel can be the roll for your neck. And you just have to experiment how many rolls do you need to give that neck support? You just keep experimenting. If your knees, when they open up, don't like that, the knees hanging out so wide, then place something underneath them. Full toilet paper rolls will work. If you have the blocks, you could use them. Supported Supta Vadakanasana. Beautiful hip opening. The whole front of your body is open, so take advantage of that and draw the breath deep into the abdomen. Sense your breath slowing down and enjoying these moments of stillness. And to feel that the curve of your low back is being filled in by the blanket. So lift them, push them into the right place. Lift your hips up, adjust the ankle so that it serves you. Adjust, readjust, readjust again. Until with an exhale, you can feel your body melting into these props. I encourage you to just pause the video if this is a particularly helpful pose. Stay, linger, stay in a restorative pose from anywhere from 4 minutes to 20 minutes. But in the interest of showing you the last pose, I'm going to have you come out of the pose by placing hands on the outsides of your thighs and helping the knees to point up to the ceiling, soles of the feet touch the ground as you release that rolled snake blanket around your ankles. And then just gently turning to one side and carefully rolling out of that pose. And to come into our last pose of supported fish. All right, so I'm going to take these pillows off. You could use one pillow as this heart opener. That's one option. Or you can use these folded towels. I tend to fold towels in thirds. I invite you to unfold one base towel so that it totally covers the base of your mat. I know this towel is big enough to do that. But just softens everything. If it were cooler out, it would provide you some warmth. Just a landing pad. So many props. All right, and then I'd like you to have a one neck pillow handy, and you can adjust that last. So just put it off to the side, and then one towel folded into thirds, and I want you to think of it as covering this thoracic part of your spine. Estimating where you think that should go. And if you have this other towel or anything really, I want something rolled underneath your knees. I'm going to use this extra yoga mat, but you could place a pillow underneath the knees This is easy supported fish. So this is meant to be just at the top of the back of your knees. You might adjust that as you lie down. This is meant to be mid rib cage. So when you get there, just check in. You might have to lift up on your elbows and wiggle. We don't want it so close to the shoulders. So I'm going to pull mine down a little bit because we want to lift up at the sternum and then let the head be lower than the heart. And if you feel this and it's just right with one blanket, stay there and add your neck pillow, the roll underneath the curve of your neck. If you want a deeper opening, then you could put another towel underneath, same position. And then that's going to be a bigger chest opening. You have to move up a little. Adjust and readjust. Check in with your neck. This rolled pillow doesn't have to be underneath the curve of your neck. For me, I'm now quite high up. So I'm just going to add it just as a little brace at the back of my skull. Just keep trying. I encourage now you to think about the last part of the pose is your arms. And I hope that when you place your arms in goddess pose, the upper arm is going out at shoulder height and you're bending at the elbows and your forearms are moving up towards your head, palms up. I hope that your elbows aren't higher than your shoulders. I hope that you've placed that top of the blanket so that it is you are opening the shoulders with ease. And you release. Let your feet pop open. If this is too much, you would adjust and take one out. This really helps to open across the front of the body. It's a very nice reversal of sitting at a desk all day and the inevitable curling forward of the shoulders and the dropping of the head. So just take advantage of this. I hope that it feels good. I hope you can find some ease in your breathing. Stay in this pose for as long as you like by pausing the video. But we will now transition to Shavasana. Just bend your knees so slightly. Roll to one side to just remove these blanket props underneath your chest. You're welcome to keep the roll underneath your knees and adjust the rolled towel underneath the curve of your neck as you lie flat. Invitation to walk your heels out wider to opposite corners of the mat, feet flop open. And arms are out wide, about 10 inches away from your body with palms facing up. Notice your spine is tall. No effort here. As you finish this practice in the pose of Shavasana, just thinking of the phrase, let it be. I encourage you to pause the video again. We are framing these classes in 50-minute intervals. So I'm going to wrap up the class by getting you to deepen your breath. To very slowly come out of this Shavasana when you're ready. Adding small movement to hands and feet. When you're ready, moving the body in whatever way feels good. And eventually, with bent knees, rolling onto one side and pressing up into a seated position. But keep your eyes closed, keep your attention inward. And bring your hands to prayer pose, Anjali Mudra, resting at your heart. Bow your head to your heart. Call to mind your intention. Take the intention off the mat with you and weave it into your daily life. Take a deep breath in and an even deeper breath out. And then join me in offering this greeting, this word, this Sanskrit word, the Namaste, which means the light in me sees and honors the very same light in you. Namaste. Thank you for your practice. I hope you can really tailor this video to the timing that's right for you by pausing it and lingering in the poses that really help your body. See you next week.